see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the lands of the free and the home of the brave?
Please bow your heads and join me in prayer. Dear Jesus, thank you for allowing us to come together today to celebrate the wonderful achievements of this Troy University graduates. We are thankful for your hand of guidance and support throughout their college career and for leading them along the path that you have specifically designed for them. We also thank you for the faculty and staff that are represented here today. We pray that you will bless them for being instrumental to these graduates with their support and guidance. We also thank you for the families and friends who have encouraged these students thus far, and pray that you will equip them to continue to be a source of support as they embark upon their new life's journey. We thank you for today, and we pray that your hand will be upon this ceremony. In Jesus' name, amen.
Please be seated. Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Don Jeffrey, Vice Chancellor of the Dothan campus, serving Troy University. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the Spring 2023 commencement ceremony. I'd like to begin by recognizing our stage guests and ask that each person stand as I call your name. To my right, Dr. Dewey Todd, Assistant Dean, Sorrell College of Business. Dr. James Ortega, Associate Professor, College of Communication and Fine Arts. Dr. Kurt Davis, Associate Professor, Director of Academic Operations, College of Education. Dr. Wade Forehand, Director of Nursing, College of Health and Human Services. Dr. Mary Ann Templeton, Associate Provost, Dean of the Graduate School. Dr. Jack Hawkins, Chancellor of Troy University. Chairman Brandon Shoupe, our guest speaker who will be formally introduced in a few minutes. Dr. Kerry Palmer, Senior Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs. Dr. Marty Olaf, Wallace D. Malone Jr., Distinguished Faculty Award recipient, Professor and Dothan Campus Coordinator of the College of Arts and Sciences. Please join me as we recognize these stage guests. We also have some special guests with us today, and we'd like to recognize the wife of Chairman Shoupe, Brooke Shoupe, Sarah Shoupe, his daughter, the Dean of Library, Dr. Chris Schaefer, and last but not least, my wife of almost 56 years, Miss Betty Jane Jeffrey. Troy University is honored to be a part of your lives, and we thank you for choosing us to be with you on such an important journey. Our staff and faculty look forward to this day, seeing you recognized for all you have accomplished and sharing this special time with your family and friends. We know how hard you have worked and how much you have sacrificed, and hope that you will always look back fondly on your time at Troy University. Our Chancellor works tirelessly behind the scenes so that we can continue having celebrations such as this. He is a champion of our students, our programs, our future, and it's my honor to introduce the Chancellor of Troy University, Dr. Jack Hawkins, Jr.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jeffrey, and it's certainly a pleasure and an honor to add my congratulations to the graduates and to all the families represented here this afternoon. This is often referred to as the most important day of the year at Troy University, and so we're delighted to spend it with each of you. I'm delighted, too, to thank Dr. Don Jeffrey. Dr. Jeffrey has served this university almost a half century, and it's been my pleasure to work with him for the last 34 years. But it was in 1990 that he answered the call. He was a member of the reserves, military, and that was when Desert Storm had its beginning. He went off, left his family for almost a year, earned the Bronze Star, came back, and has served this university well. Graduates, I often quote the words of Billy Graham, who said the two most important words in any language, but the most underutilized words are those words, thank you. I'd like for all of you to say thank you through ovation to Dr. Don Jeffrey for his long service to Troy and to this great country. Don, would you stand up? Thank you. Today is it's about family. You know, I'm so proud of Troy University and the focus we have at the university on relationships. And the older I get, the more I realize that life is about relationships. It's not about things. It's not about finances. It's about people making a difference in the lives of others. There are no others who have made a greater difference in the lives of our graduates than families. And families, I'd like to ask you, if you have a loved one graduating this afternoon, if you'll stand up and let all of us, but particularly our graduates, say thank you for your love, your support, and probably your financial investment. So if you'll stand up and let us say thank you, please. Thank you. Thank you so much. And as a group, you know, all of this really couldn't be possible. Of course, the student is the most important piece in the equation, but then you have to have a well-qualified and committed faculty. We have representatives of our entire faculty, which numbers in the hundreds, but I'd like for our faculty who are here with us this afternoon representing their disciplines, if you'll stand up and on behalf of all the faculty, please know how much we appreciate you, and please join me. Thank you. Over the last several decades, I probably have attended 400 or more commencement ceremonies, not only in Alabama, but around the world. And in fact, in October, we were in Vietnam, where we offer programs that serve about 1,000 students on the ground. It's phenomenal that 50 years ago we were at war. Today we're partnering to educate the young people. We've already graduated over 1,500. We became, in Vietnam, and we became the first American university to ever award the bachelor's degree in Vietnam, and that occurred in 2008. And so I'm really proud of what we do, not only in Alabama, but around the world. We have graduated over 165,000 alumni from Troy University in every clime and place around this globe. It's truly a global experience that we hope we've prepared you for. But I would remind you that the value, graduates, of your degree is not stagnant. It'll change in time. We come to work every day dedicated to adding value to that degree. I hope it's worth far more 20 years from now than it even is today. But it requires our best effort collectively. And so I encourage you to be involved. I bring 3 challenges as I bring a gift, but let me give you the challenges first. The first is to remain involved. Indeed, if you don't have a Troy car tag on your car, I hope you will put one there because it'll cost you $50, but it's tax deductible. And 48 of the 50, the state sends us, and we apply to a scholarship fund that helps underwrite scholarships for our students, particularly for study abroad, where a lot of students couldn't afford to do that. But we send students, many, many students across the country and around the world every year through that fund. So please be involved and show your commitment to the university. The second is, I want you to replace yourselves at least once each year. Send us good students. You've proven to have the perseverance and the ability to see it done. You know, and the graduation rate across this country is not 100%. In fact, we'd like to think it would be 50% across America. So you've already proven your ability. Send us good students just like yourselves. And the third thing I would encourage you to do is to remember what's written in the book of Matthew, where it says, I came not to be served, but to serve. Life is about service. We encourage you to serve those communities. As we think about leadership in America, I'm concerned we have far fewer well-qualified leaders today than we need. But every community in America needs you. And I hope that you'll take that very seriously and indeed be active in making your communities much better than they are. It was Churchill who said, you make a living by what you get, but you make a life by what you give. It's truly about giving and service. And so I bring you a gift on behalf of the National Alumni Association. You will each receive a 1 year's free membership in the National Alumni Association. But the Board of Trustees of our Board of Directors of our Alumni Association asked me to remind you it's 1 year. We want you to be active and let us know what you're doing, where you are. Just know how proud of you we are. As I talk about service, there's a good segue here to the gentleman I'll introduce now. He has demonstrated service in many, many different ways. Commissioner Brandon Shoupe has served on the Houston County Commission since 2014, so almost over a decade he has served his community well. Last November, he was elected chairman of the County Commission, earning almost 60% among the other candidates. That's quite a significant endorsement of confidence. Because of his background, he loves to point to his admiration for President Ronald Reagan. And you might remember it was President Ronald Reagan, and I think this may have been Brandon's first time to hear him. In the wake of the explosion of the space shuttle Challenger that some of you may remember, it was then that President Reagan made a powerful, powerful speech reminding us of the gratitude of our country, but also the frailty of the human spirit and the human life. And Brandon remembers that, and it shaped him. He's a graduate of Wicksburg High School. He attended Wallace Community College. He went on and did a degree at Auburn University with a degree in computer software engineering. He serves our public education system as a member of the board of the Alabama School of Cyber Technology and Engineering located in Huntsville. It's a public magnet school which integrates engineering and technology into all of the academic disciplines. Commissioner Shoupe also serves on the boards of the Wiregrass Children's Home and the Southern Alabama Regional Council on Aging, which is particularly important to many of us. So we want you to continue to do that, Mr. Commissioner. He's the owner of Kaiser Capital Investments, which operates 2 internet-based businesses. He and his wife, Brooke, and I'm delighted Brooke could be with us. They have 2 children, Ethan and Sarah. And I'm going to save a spot at Troy University for both Ethan and Sarah. Sarah, you heard that, right? Okay. And they are very devoted members of the Covenant Methodist Church in Dothan. Please join me in thanking a public servant, a friend of Troy University, and a great and devoted leader in this community, Commissioner Brandon Shoupe.
Thank you. All right, 20 years ago, I stood where a lot of you are standing right now, except I was on the floor of the Beardes Memorial Coliseum in Auburn University, where I was finally about to receive my degree in software engineering. And prior to obtaining that degree, I have the privilege of serving, or working rather, for the National Security Agency in Fort Meade, Maryland. And that was a formidable time in my life, and it was a formidable time in the history of our nation because I was there during the 9/11 terrorist attacks. And I would say before my work at the NSA, I was one of those typical shy, awkward kids, like a lot of us were growing up. So not very outgoing, loved life, but just not very outgoing. But when I worked at the National Security Agency, I really started to come into my own as an individual, as a human being, as a man. And made a lot of friends, some of which I'm still friends with today. But after graduation, I decided for several reasons that I was not going to move back up there, not going to take my at the time, new wife. We were not going to make a family in Maryland. And so we decided instead that I was going to go to Florida and work for a defense contracting company on the eastern coast of Florida. And that was the beginning of 5 very difficult years of my life. But before I talk about that, I do want to say, Vice Chancellor Jeffrey, Chancellor Hawkins, thank you so much for the invitation to be here today, and thanks as well to the staff and the faculty of the Troy system for doing what you do every day to brighten the minds of our fellow citizens and really beyond our shores. So I took that job at this defense contracting company, and I figured out pretty quickly, matter of fact, about 6 months into my work, that maybe I've gotten the wrong degree, and that's very defeating, right? So I've spent almost 5 years, I'm ashamed to say, struggling, trying to get this bachelor's degree. And 6 months into my career, things are not going good, and they're not going good on paper because I'm getting my performance reviews in, and they were never good up until the last one I received, which I thought was funny. But it was not going good, and I was failing, and I'd always considered myself to be a successful person, but there it is every 6 months. My failure is right there on that performance review. One of the people that I met at this company was a guy named Ralph. I will never forget Ralph. Ralph was a baby boomer. He had a buzz cut, not a big guy, not a little guy, kind of hunched over the shoulders, kind of had a slack jaw. And nobody talked to Ralph that much. He was in a perpetual bad mood. But I got to know him a little bit because we worked in the same lab together. And so I talked to him, and he had these one-liners. And I'll never forget what he told me. He said, Brandon, I used to come to work for this company, or when I came to work for this company, I thought I would come because I really enjoy the work. I really enjoy the technology. I thought I would really enjoy what I was going to do here. But what I figured out is that the only reason I come to work now is because I've got to pay the bills. And so you can tell I was struggling at the time with, I guess, my life's choices, and I'm seeing Ralph still struggling with his. He told me another time, he said, Brandon, working at this company is a lot like stirring crap. And I was like, what are you talking about, Ralph? He said, every project is just another stir of the same crap. And I rocked along for a few more months, and I was stopped in the hall one time by a guy named Tim. Tim was one of the higher-ups in the building that I worked in. Tim stopped me and said, Brandon, I've been noticing you need to smile a little bit more. I mean, I knew I was miserable, but I did not know that I wore my misery on my face. But what really struck me is that he was the second person to tell me that in the span of about a week. And it was like my eyes had been opened up, and I could see off into the future, and I could see myself maybe about 5 years away from retirement with a buzz cut, hunched over the shoulders with a slack jaw and a perpetual bad attitude. And I knew that that's not what I wanted for me. And I remember telling myself, this is not the life that I want. And so after much consternation, my wife and I decided to sell our home, and we moved back to the land of opportunity to Dothan, Alabama. And in my naivety of being 25 years old, I thought, okay, I still had confidence for some reason. All right, I'm done with technology. I want to sell commercial real estate. And so you can imagine how naive that was, 25 years old, no professional contacts at the time, in Dothan, and I'm going to sell commercial real estate. And so, the market was booming, did okay, but never really great. And then in 2007 and in 2008, the market began to come unwind, and I knew, okay, the writing's on the wall, that chapter is closing. I knew I had to do something else. But by that time, we had a child. We had child number 2 on the way, and necessity, as always, is the mother of all motivation, and I knew I could not fail at whatever I pivoted to. And I considered myself to be kind of a failure. That's because I've had 2 professional failures so far, and I'm still just 25 years old. And so I started a web development company, thinking I'm a failure because I'm going to have to go back on this technology background of mine, but I started a web development company. And although web development is not the most exciting thing in the world, what is exciting were the people that I got to meet every day, the business owners. I wasn't necessarily chained to a desk. I was out meeting people, helping people solve complicated problems. And in those days, websites were complicated problems. They weren't point and click like they are today. They were very complicated. And I thrived at that business, and the business began to grow. We eventually grew to about a 4-man shop, which in Dothan, Alabama, by the way, that's a pretty big deal when all you do is build websites. And for a while, we were renowned across the state of Alabama. I sold that business in 2016, but in 2014, I ran for District 4 of the County Commission, and last year I ran and was elected the Houston County Commission chairman. But I'm not here today to talk to you about struggle. I'm not here today really to talk to you about success. I do not consider myself to be an expert on that topic. But I'm here today to talk to you about something I think you need more, something that I think if you have this, you'll be much more likely to be successful as you go through in your personal and in your professional life. And I'm talking about joy. Not the joy that comes from success, not the joy that comes from things that you've achieved. That joy is fleeting. That's going to go away pretty quickly. I'm talking about the joy that you have every day inside your heart. I'm talking about that joy. And so today I'm going to talk to you about how to nurture that joy and about how to protect it. And the first bit of advice I have, as you can imagine, is don't go to work every day doing something that makes you miserable. Now, looking at the number of graduates, prospective graduates that we have here today, I can go ahead and predict that some of you are going to get out in the workforce and you're going to figure out, maybe 6 months, maybe a year, you're going to figure out maybe I've got the wrong degree. I'm here to tell you that's okay. The fact that you have strove for years to obtain the degree that you have, that you're about to receive on this piece of paper, means as much to potential employers as the words that is printed on that degree. So don't worry, and don't think of yourself as a failure. Think of it just as part of your story, maybe a story that you will recount, that you will talk about 20 years from now when you're giving an invocation. Next thing I want to tell you is we all need to disconnect to reconnect. So what do I mean by that? I mean, as much as possible, need to stay off of social media. Now, I will tell you, I am on social media. I have to be because that's where the world communicates, and I'm a politician, I'm an elected official. I've got to communicate in that world. But social media, let me ask you this. For those of you that were in a hurry today and you were eating your ham sandwich or your peanut butter and banana sandwich, how many of you took a picture of that sandwich and posted it on Facebook? Probably nobody. All right, but some of you may go to Florence, Italy, and celebrate your degree in a week or a month from now. And maybe you'll imagine you go in the finest restaurant in Florence, and you have this most exquisite presentation at this awesome restaurant. You're going to want to take a picture of that moment to preserve it, right? To preserve it in your memory. And then you're going to be tempted to post it on social media. And then everybody else is going to see that, and they're going to compare their boring, mundane life to what you're doing. And that is the fallacy of social media, because we compare, because we're all boring, mundane people. Like, there's nobody in here, I don't think, that's a superstar. And so we all have boring lives, but we compare ourselves to the highlight reels of everybody else. And you don't deserve that. You do not deserve to compare yourself to others in that way. I had a pastor one time, I'll never forget, Hayes McKay. Some of you probably know him. He said, it is absolutely idiotic to try to keep up with the Joneses. You buy things you don't need with money you don't have to impress people that you don't even like. And just when you get caught up with the Joneses, they go to the bank and they refinance. And the cycle starts again and again. So you'll never be able to keep up with the Joneses. Don't even try. One of the people that I have a lot of admiration for is Senator Katie Boyd Britt. I'm sure some of you have met her before. She is extremely, extremely talented, extremely charismatic. She can speak faster than my mind can form a complete thought. If you could check the boxes of what it means to be a perfect political leader, Senator Katie Boyd Britt would be it. And this is the best part. She is younger than I am. She has accomplished more in her small, short career than I probably ever will in the entirety of my professional career. And so you might think that as a driven person that is competitive, like many of us are, that I would be jealous of Katie, but I promise you I'm not. And I'm not here to preach to you today, but I do believe that God gives each and every one of us the talents and the skills that we need on our journey through life. Her journey is much different than mine. The person sitting next to you did not start at the same place that you did. Maybe they had more growing up. Maybe they had less. You're here today. We're all going to eventually end up at the same place, but we're all on a different journey. Remember that. Don't compare your journey to somebody else. Don't watch the national news. That might surprise you coming from an elected official. The news is not there to inform you. The news is there to infuriate you and to monetize your eyeballs as you click, as you share, as you are infuriated, and as you share those stories with others. The news tries to make every problem in the world seem like your problem to solve, but I promise you, it is not. And if you are not paying for something like the news, then you are the product that is being sold. So avoid the news, the national news, if at all possible. To add, you must learn how to subtract. Letting go is the key to unlocking joy. So every year, as I approach the new year, I would think about all the things that I've accomplished in the past year and all the things I want to accomplish in the new year. And I take inventory of my financial portfolio. What do I want to add to my portfolio? What do I want to add to my list of accomplishments? More. But I will tell you, I've learned over my years that the most miserable people I know are the people that can't let go of anything. It's not that they don't have enough, it's that they just can't let go of certain things. How can you go forward in life when you have all this stuff that's holding you back, that's weighing you down as you're trying to go through life? You can't. So maybe we need to learn how to forgive each other. Maybe we need to learn how to forgive ourselves, because sometimes that could be more difficult than forgiving others. To add, you must subtract. Sometimes you have to edit people out of your life. That's not to say that they're bad people. Maybe they're just not good influences on you where you are in your life. To add, you must learn how to subtract. You must also accept that every blessing comes with a burden. If you're going to be a great musician, you're going to have to sacrifice thousands of hours to become a great musician. Thousands of hours that you could have spent with your friends, with your family, doing other things. You're going to have to sacrifice that. A lot of times your success in life is going to be limited only by what you are willing to give up, only limited by the burdens that you are willing to bear. And it doesn't have to be anything grand. It could be as simple as my daughter's bedroom. So she had a small bedroom on one end of the house, and she wanted the mother-in-law suite because it's got a big bedroom, or it is a big bedroom. It's got its own bathroom. It's got a big closet to put all of her nice clothes in there. What little girl would not want that? So I was excited, and she was excited, and we moved her into the mother-in-law suite. Now she's got this big girl bedroom. But every blessing comes with a burden. So the burden for her is that it's right next to the kitchen. And despite my many months of trying, I get up early in the morning, and I have yet to figure out how to make coffee and breakfast, as quiet as a ninja. So I'm always waking her up. Every blessing comes with a burden. The last thing I want to leave you is this. You are the man in the arena, or you are the woman in the arena. Now, this is a university setting, so I'm not going to insult anybody's intelligence, but I'm going to say most people in this room have probably never heard of the speech by one of my heroes, President Theodore Roosevelt, called Citizenship in a Republic. It was a speech he gave in France after he left the office of presidency, but more of you most likely have heard of the phrase or heard of the passage, the man in the arena. It is not the critic who counts. not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. But the credit belongs to the man who's actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there can be no effort without error and shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best in the end knows the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be among the cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. So the first time I read that passage, it was a few years back. It was after I'd been elected to the county commission. I was reading a biography on President Roosevelt. And it really spoke to me because I don't know if you know this. Some of you probably do. Some of you will figure it out when you run for public office. But when you win an elected office, sometimes politics can attract, let's just call them what it is, people that are a little bit out there. And these people sometimes are your critics. It's not that they're opposed to what you're doing. It's just they're opposed to it because it is you that is doing it. They're just critical. And so when I read that passage, I thought, you know what? President Roosevelt was actually very right. So I'm the one that's got to make the decisions. I got to make the decisions that I'm comfortable living with. I'm the one that's got to look at myself in the mirror, so I need to make my decisions and not worry about the critics. But I figured out as I pondered that passage, there's actually a little bit deeper meaning. And that deeper meaning is this: don't live your life according to the expectations of others. So when I was in college, my best friend at the time, I told him, I said, I think I want to work. I think I could do this. I want to work for the CIA or the NSA. And he laughed at me. He laughed at me because he had different expectations for my life than I did. And I'm not, I've probably done the same thing to different people from time to time, but we all have different expectations. And so his expectations were not what my expectations were. And I think sometimes, thinking back, like, where would I be if I did not go to work for the NSA? I don't really want to think about that. And I'm not saying that you should not ignore well-intended advice, because the people in the stands, as you are in the arena, the people in the stands, they're your parents, they're your family, they're cheering you on, they're shouting advice. But you also have your enemies in the stands, and they're cursing you, and they're hurling insults at you. That's part of life. Just remember, you are the person in the arena. You have to look at yourself in the mirror every day. So be comfortable with the decisions that you make. It's been said by many people that when you talk to people in nursing homes, and you ask them, what do you regret? It's not the things that they did that they regret, but it's the things that they did not do. So if you can live your life according to your own expectations, if you can resist comparing yourselves to others, if you can limit your time on social media, if you can limit your exposure to the national news, if you can learn to let go, if you can accept that that burdens come with all of your blessings, then you will be a joyful person. And when you are a joyful person, you'll be much more successful and much more happy than right now you can possibly imagine. Thank you.
Commissioner Shoupe, thank you for your counsel, your inspiration, but most of all, the example you set for all of us. Thank you so much. Please, let's say thank you to Commissioner Shoupe once more.
Will the candidates for the associate's degree please rise? Dr. Hawkins, these candidates have completed the requirements for the associate's degree, and on behalf of the faculty, I recommend that the degree be conferred.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty and approval by the Chief Academic Officer and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Troy University and the laws of the state of Alabama, it's indeed a pleasure to confer upon each of you the associate's degree that you have earned. Congratulations.
Graduates, please change your tassels from the right side to the left side of your cap. Congratulations, you may be seated. Will the candidates for the bachelor's degree please rise? Dr. Hawkins, these candidates have completed all requirements for the bachelor's degree, and on behalf of the faculty, I recommend that the degree be conferred.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty and approval by the Chief Academic Officer and by the authority granted me by the Board of Trustees of Troy University and the laws of the state of Alabama, it's indeed a pleasure to confer upon each of you the bachelor's degree you have earned. Congratulations.
Graduates, please change your tassels from the right side to the left side of your cap. Congratulations, you may be seated. Will the candidates for the master's degree please rise? Dr. Hawkins, these candidates have completed all requirements for the master's degree, and on behalf of the graduate faculty, I recommend that the degree be conferred.
Upon the recommendation of the graduate faculty and approval of the Chief Academic Officer and by the authority granted me by the Board of Trustees of Troy University and the laws of the state of Alabama, it's indeed a pleasure to confer upon each of you the graduate degree you have earned. Congratulations.
Graduates, please change your tassels from the right side to the left side of your cap. Congratulations, you may be seated.
Will the graduates for the associate's degree please come forward? Treasurer Marie Douglas. Go. No, yeah, straight across, straight across. Thank you. Megan Renee Wendell. Will the graduates for the bachelor's degree in the College of Arts and Sciences please come forward? After I call your name. Constance Brooke Ash. Congratulations. Kaylee Megan Glass. Congratulations. Bradley C. Kite. Dorothy Jean Rose. Carrie Renee Williams. Donald David Bagley Jr. Marion H. Curry, cum laude. Kelly Ann Gonzalez, cum laude. Mason Douglas Guilford, summa cum laude. Thank you. Susan K. Morgan, summa cum laude. Logan Parsons.
Will the graduates of the bachelor's degree in the Sorrell College of Business please come forward? Mary Ann Bird, cum laude. Kyla Clifton, summa cum laude. Cherie Easterling, cum laude. Heather Lynn Fulford. Callie Elizabeth Silcox, cum laude.
Will the graduates of the bachelor's degree in the College of Communication and Fine Arts please come forward? Karen Forrester King, cum laude.
Will the graduates of the bachelor's degree in the College of Education please come forward? Alexandra Michelle Barber. Christopher Bond, magna cum laude. Gracie Elizabeth Coppage, summa cum laude. Diane Marie Coslet, magna cum laude. Haley Suzanne Crosby, magna cum laude. Tiana Marie Crudup Herwig. Stephanie Lynn Epding. Brittany Nicole McCree. Cale Allen McKimmey, cum laude. Jalen Francine Parker. Kayla Dale Ropash, summa cum laude. Rhonda Michelle Silas Saunders. Miranda Therese Sapp, cum laude. Kayla Jean Schneller. Heather Nicole Strickland, cum laude. Joshua Brent Vaughn, summa cum laude. Wesley Jane Whitfield, summa cum laude. Jasmine Victoria Wisdom, magna cum laude. Shauna Alexis Woodard, magna cum laude.
Will the graduates of the bachelor's degree in the College of Human Health and Services please come forward? Holly Nicole Askew. Shalonda Trinae Brown. Brittany Dawkins. Janeri Maisha Dawkins. Jasmine Jade DuPont. Kimberly Michelle Gifford. Aubrey Gilmer. Kelsey Rayanne Harrison, cum laude. Urisis Lizetti Jerez Diaz, cum laude. Ola L. Jackson, cum laude. Claire Ashlyn Johnson. Deja Latara Jones. Tanisha Marie Kirby. Yolanda Tawanda Marie McBride. Aaron Pace. Danielle Yeomans.
Will the graduates who have earned the master's degrees please come forward? Nathaniel Ron Barley. Kimberly Anika Coleman Jones. Jamie Gardner. Thomas Zane Hanks. Cynthia Carmel Pouncey Terry. Kirsten Ann Stoddard. Alicia Danielle Gutsmore. Araceli Hurtado. Sterkelia Ingram. Carl Matthew Johnson, Jr.
Good.
Jeffrey Glenn Lipsey. Riley Sin. Stacy R. Woodall. Sierra Ann Calloway. Bethany Evans Chancellor. Brittany Aaron Dykes. George Samuel Hoffman. Callie Ann Money. Trin Tu Tai Nguyen. Ashley Cook Peters. Cassandra Christine Pierce. Kaylee R. Rogers. Erica Heidi Searcy. Riley Cade Snail.
Let's give these graduates another round of applause. Before we bring this ceremony to a close, please help me thank the people who helped make this event special. Our pianist, Sharon Tolleson, our vocalist, Lexi Henson, our mace bearer, Dr. Marty Olaf, our faculty and floor marshals, Dr. Richard Voss, Ms. Susan Green, Ms. Debbie Kirby, all of our outstanding staff on the Dothan campus, and our Dothan campus officers and physical plant. Please remain standing for the benediction.
Please bow your heads and join me in prayer. Dear Jesus, we thank you for the new journey that these graduates are starting today. Please guide each of the graduates to fulfill this journey well and bring glory to your name. We are thankful that you will be there with them every step of the way to guide and direct their path. Lord, I pray that you will bless and keep each of these graduates, that you will make your face shine upon them and be gracious to them. May they be a blessing to others and make an incredible impact throughout our community and beyond. As the graduates leave here today, we pray for your guidance with their new endeavors and for peace for the journey ahead. Please bless each graduate, family member, friend, faculty, and staff member as we leave here today. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. These commencement proceedings are now complete. Congratulations, graduates. Please remember to leave your diploma covers in your seat. Audience, I ask that you please stay in place until all of the graduates and platform party have exited the arena. The graduates will exit out following the floor marshals. Guests, we ask that you please give the graduates a couple of minutes to exit the building, and then you may exit through the two doors on your right, and meet your graduates in the parking lot. Thank all of you for coming out today, and have a wonderful evening.